popping, bubble filled, bursted. The knowledge never chills, always lurk. Come on. Pressure on the will, always working. That's right. Mind never stops, wheels be turned. Come on. Relief is in the gap, cease the searching. Peace between the thoughts stops the hurt. Relief. I don't really exist, so who you murking? Ha! Small time boy. It's just a figment of the imagination. That's right. Driving you crazy. Relax, be still. What? The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. It will amaze you how the flurries on the periphery won't phase you. The world is moving swiftly. Slow it down and your mental goes slow. The only crown I wear is unified. It's so simple. Calling all creative players to the temple. Navigating self-ownership. No more rental. No more. The world controllers trying to lock it down. Leave them to it. They trap their own souls while they do. But we rolling between the gaps. Expansive minds chant down Babylon. That's right. It's a figment of the imagination, driving you crazy. Relax, be still. The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. It will amaze you how the flurries on the periphery won't phase you. Fellow man, woman, child. Reconnect, peace, love, family ties. We respect, all we need is each other. Let's recollect while the mama spit us out that wet. We're here for a season, come on, and it's the reason we believe it. The parents don't know who the daughter and son is. The children don't know who the one is. They don't. But we all gathered here because we know where the fun is. Yeah. It's just a figment of the imagination. It is driving you crazy. Relax, be still. The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. It will amaze you how the flurries on the periphery won't phase you. Yeah. Just a figment of the imagination. Driving you crazy. Relax, be still. The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. It will amaze you how the flurries on the periphery won't phase you. Phase you, phase you, phase you, phase you. Yeah. Relax, be still. The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. Let go. Relax, be still. The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. It will amaze you. Let go. Let go. Let go. Never stop popping, bubble filled, bursted. The knowledge never chills, always lurk. Come on. Pressure on the will, always working. That's right. Mind never stops, wheels be turned. Come on. Relief is in the gap, cease the searching. Peace between the thoughts stops the hurt. Relief. I don't really exist, so who you murking? Ha! Small time boy. It's just a figment of the imagination. That's right. Driving you crazy. Relax, be still. What? The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. It will amaze you how the flurries on the periphery won't phase you. The world is moving swiftly. Slow it down and your mental goes slow. The only crown I wear is unified. It's so simple. Calling all creative players to the temple. Navigating self-ownership. No more rental. No more. The world controllers trying to lock it down. Leave them to it. They trap their own souls while they do. But we rolling between the gaps. Expansive minds chant down Babylon. That's right. It's a figment of the imagination, driving you crazy. Relax, be still. The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. It will amaze you how the flurries on the periphery won't phase you. Fellow man, woman, child. Reconnect, peace, love, family ties. We respect, all we need is each other. Let's recollect while the mama spit us out that wet. We're here for a season, come on, and it's the reason we believe it. The parents don't know who the daughter and son is. The children don't know who the one is. They don't. But we all gathered here because we know where the fun is.
Peace, peace, peace. Peace and blessings, peace and power. I am so honored, privileged, and happy to be with y'all today. Hey, I'm rolling solo today. You just got Coach Simbi, the people's coach. We're gonna coach y'all through some stuff today. Shout out to Jabari, shout out to Kenda, shout out to Monica, shout out to all of the Ma'at Temple of Elevation. We got a powerful topic today that we want to address to y'all and with y'all, and that's pertaining to Proverbs chapter, what is it? I think it's 18:21. I'm not a Bible aficionado, so forgive me. Yeah, Proverbs 18:21. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. And this falls right in alignment with our June theme for the Ma'at Temple of elevation, of vitality. This theme is vitality, accountability, and responsibility. Okay. So that's this month's theme. So before we get into that, as usual, we come before you in the mind state of elevation, standing on a strong legacy of spiritual masters, healers, and powerful prayer warriors. We acknowledge our connection to Source and our honored and elevated ancestors. We are humble servants of the community. May we be properly guided with every word that we speak. And for a reminder, and for anyone who's introduced to us today, if it's your first time observing and joining in on our Temple Talk Live for the Ma'at Temple of Elevation, we're going to read our mission statement, which is to build and maintain a strong family and community support structure that fosters spiritual elevation, optimal living, healthy relationships, empowerment, and respect among all Black people, people of African descent, and people throughout the entire African diaspora and community. So we focus locally, right where we stand, but also we included all of us wherever we are, to inspire, uplift, and energize the spirit of the people to face life with enthusiasm, vigor, and gratitude. Rah! My little Melly Mel for the old school. Rah! But that's rah! That life force, that vitality. That's the theme for this month. Vitality. Okay? Vitality, accountability, and responsibility, which we are accountable and responsible for our own vitality. Hold on. I'm outdoors today right by the brick wall because we are building brick by brick our community, our families, our vitality, our accountability and responsibility. Okay. So today, for starters, before we get into the science of the spoken word and the power of the spoken word, we want to touch upon the 11 social directives. One of them are accountability and responsibility. Be able to account and respond. Believe, know, and trust that you can do it. If it must be done, then know that it is you that can do it. Or us. We must find a way to get it done and attract the people and our circumstances to fulfill it. The key and basis of responsibility and accountability is ability. It's to be able. Know that you are able. Know that we are able. Responsibility, of course, is the ability to respond. A response is a reflex to a cause, a stimulus, or a trigger. The reflexes can and must be trained by the consciousness and will. The consciousness and will is free to adjust, to what is required for the moment. Sometimes there is no opportunity for a plan. Or we could say sometimes the plan must be intuited instantly in the moment and almost simultaneously applied. This is the way of the warrior in the heat of battle. This is the way of the athlete in the heat of competition, the dancer in the rhythm of the flow, the negotiator in the middle of making the deal, and so on. In these moments, there's little to no time for thought or reflection because an instant response is required. That's why training in advance is so necessary for preparation. But success depends on the momentary, spontaneous application of our training and creativity. Just so you know, I'm reading out of the Razor Level Mandate Value System and Culture Handbook, but also this is also included in the Superhero Syndrome, The Perfect Pressure book, both of which I'm the author. Okay, so I'm reading one of the 11 social directives called responsibility and accountability. Be able to count and respond. Now, just so you know, these messages are these directives in the 11 social directives are given to me by me tuning in, of course, to my higher self and the inspiration, that inner cosmic inspiration that my ancestors, that my spiritual guides also, touch me with these particular words. Just so you know, I'm a vessel for this, and I'm striving to be the embodiment of it. And I'm also responsible for coaching us through the fulfillment of this. But I'm also a member of the Ma'at Temple of Elevation, which I'm also a coach. I'm the people's coach, Brother Simbi. I'm the people's coach. And so I am here to help coach us to this elevation, to raising the level, to us elevating our consciousness. So let's continue on this reading of accountability and responsibility. Responsibility is a gift, it's a talent, the ability to respond. But the talent can and must be, got distracted for a moment, but the talent can and must be developed. Some express it easier and more readily than others, but it is within us all. Responsibilities always exist all around us and throughout our lives. They are life's generosity. Life is generous as it always deals us an abundance of opportunities for growth, creative expression, and exercise. We shall embrace the gift of responsibility and cherish our capabilities to joyfully take up the tasks presented to us. As we grow and develop in character, our awareness expands. And as our awareness expands, we grow and develop in character. We become more conscious of how we affect others around us and our capacity to influence the world. Our capacity to influence our world contains within it the seed of our ability to respond to life's challenges, our life's call to creativity. Life gradually calls us to higher, more sophisticated creative exercises that are designed to expand our soul's capacity. And as we are mindful of this, we welcome every day and every moment of every day with the eagerness of newborn babies exploring the environment for the first time. Excuse me. We approach each new opportunity for expansion, which is responsibility, with the spirit of freshness and newness. It's all a game of spirited child's play with far-reaching consequences. The spirit of child's play must be retained in order to keep the spirit young, flexible, and responsive. Rigidity is a result of the gradual loss of the innate enthusiastic outlook and eagerness to touch and play with things in our world's surroundings. It happens when we mistake our life's calls to creativity for burdens of unrelenting pressure. The perceived constant pressure is really the consistent outflow of our deep inner desires for diverse expression and multiplicity of experiences. Again, it's supposed to be fun. Okay. Accountability is our ability to count, to take stock of what we are responsible for, to accept what is expected of us in totality. Our accountability is measured against our responsibility, our demonstrated ability to respond. We are expected to respond to the level of our creative capacity and are thus held accountable. Ultimately, we are all creative beings with the innate talents to create our world of experience. We were given this creative capacity because that is who we are. We're creative beings. We are beings who can form images in our minds and use our life force to create those images in the physical world. We made agreements before we got here on earth, agreements with the greater, more expanded version of ourselves, that we would take the portion of energy that we brought with us to this plane or this planet and be responsible creators who would hold ourselves accountable for what we create. Some people call that karma. This removes the excuse of the victim because we all create our worlds. Again, this removes the excuse of the victim because we all create our worlds. And we all have the innate ability to change our worlds into what we want them to be. We say worlds instead of world because everyone's life experience is a world of itself with unique experiences, patterns, and fluctuations of light, life energy, and manifestations. We are all the gods of our own lives and thus must hold ourselves accountable for how we respond to our life's call to creativity. Holding ourselves accountable is not about self-blame, guilt, or condemnation, but about helping us to assess or take stock where we are in our soul's expansion and measuring where we are currently up against what we agreed that our purpose, function, destiny, and level of creativity would be throughout our journey. So then, how do we feel about where we are in our lives at present? So how do you feel where you are in your life at present? How do we feel about where we are in our lives at present? Understanding that we come here already with a predestined from our own agreement level of accountability and responsibility to carry out. How do you feel that you are based on that? How you feel that you're doing? Okay. How do we feel about what we've created in our experience? Life responds to our deep inner desires and thus moves us towards what we want by attracting people and circumstances of opportunity. How have we responded to this thus far? Have we taken responsibility for what we've created in our lives? If what we are currently experiencing feels unfavorable, are we holding ourselves accountable by seeing and accepting our capacity to change, since we are the ones who created it in the first place? And this is how we raise the level. So that is the reading of the accountability and responsibility directive. Okay. And we tie that into the power of the spoken word on this particular day because we want to speak on how we are responsible for our existence, for our experience as individuals and as a people. If we want to, group ourselves up as a people, and we are a group of people, a very unique group of people. I'm talking about Black people in America, Black people on the planet, but I live right here in this place called North America. Okay. And we have a distinct, unique experience on this planet. All right. So we know that our challenge, as of today, this date, our challenge is still for us to proclaim and demonstrate our sovereignty on this earth, on this planet, after going through the centuries of being enslaved, and after that the Reconstruction period, the Jim Crow, and the going through the drug infestation of our communities, the biochemical warfare. I'm not going to run down all of the injustices and challenges that we have faced throughout the centuries being here on this soil. Now, some say that we've always been here. Some of us have always been here. So if we are part of those who have always been here, then that means some foreigners came and they wrecked shop on our land and our soil and took over and put us in the condition that we're in. But then there's a portion that they say have come over and had been enslaved, and some that were already here had been enslaved. But however you want to slice it, here we are now. We are here now facing the same challenge as the darker melanated peoples of the earth, the proudly melanated peoples of the earth, the original gods and goddesses, the original man and woman of the planet, the undisputed people like the tribe, but they can't. We are the original people of the planet. That's just what it is. Okay. Some people don't like that and some people don't want to accept it. But it don't matter because the fact is the fact. And we have to accept the facts of who we are in reality. And so with that comes a responsibility and a level of accountability. Okay, so let's not get braggadocious. Yeah, we the original people. Yeah, that strokes the ego. Yeah, that strengthens the spirit. That replaces some knowledge that has been violently ripped from us throughout our story, throughout the story of life on the planet. We fell asleep. We got knocked over the head and got amnesia, forgot who we were. And we're still waking up because who we are is so vast. It's so beyond what this flesh dictates. It's so beyond so beyond the appearance of this flesh. But it is the being, it is the consciousness that is in the being of the flesh. That God, that goddesses, that original man and woman that comes from the line of the creators of the universe. The heavens, sun, moon, stars, and the planets. Yes, we are descendants of those beings who created thus. So that's not to be bragging. That's not to be boasting. That's not to be talking smack. That's to be acknowledging some serious accountability and responsibility. So let's get to it. And so since our challenge is still proclaiming our sovereignty, our autonomy on this planet, us having control over our lives completely, all the aspects of our lives. Those of you who are familiar with Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, peace be upon her. Her and Dr. Neely Fuller. I haven't heard that he passed away, so I'm assuming he's still living. Shout out to him. But he through his United Compensatory Code System concept, he talks about the 9 areas of people activity, and Dr. Frances Cress Welsing speaks about it in her ISIS papers. Now, let me see if I remember these. You got education, entertainment, economics. Got labor, law, politics. So that's 6 of them. We got sex, religion, and war. That's 9. So all of those levels of people activity, we have to look at, are we in control of all of those levels of people activity? Or is the dominant society dictating to us how we experience life in all of those areas of people activity? Now, we don't have time to break down each individual level of people activity, but one thing for sure, if we are at least exercising sovereignty, our own independence, or as a people, interdependence around those and within those 9 areas of people activity, then we are truly a free people if we're doing that. But if you have someone or some groups or people who are dictating things and manipulating how things go in relationship to us, if we are subject to that or allow ourselves to be subject to that, then we are not free. We are not sovereign. Let's say this, we're not exercising our freedom. We're not exercising our sovereignty. Okay? Pardon me. But I'm here to say, so we got wind. My camera is being blown around a little bit. So pardon the flip-floppiness of the situation here. But if we so lost my train of thought. It'll come back. Boom, 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 boom. If we're in a situation, which we are in, where we're not fully exercising our sovereignty in all the aspects of life, economics, education. Oh. You know what? I might have to switch cameras. Pardon me. This joint ain't really stable right now. I had to go to my computer camera. There we go. I'm coming in. I'm coming in. All right, I'm coming in with a little more stability. Light's not adjusted as good though. Pardon me. We'll continue. All right, that's the best. That's the best we can do right now. So if we're not exercising the sovereignty that we need to be fully functional human beings or divine beings having a human experience on this planet as a group, then it has to do with what constitutes the thinking and the acting. But the acting, the behaviors are dictated by the thought, the ideas, the mental concepts, the philosophies, the principles that we hold true and real to ourselves. What are we thinking? All right. If we do understand the power of the mind, we do understand that energy follows thought. We do understand that the mind precedes all physical manifestation in our lives as humans, as people. Before we experience any circumstance, your mind precedes that. Our minds perceive that. Also, understand that what is in the spirit, the unseen, precedes that, right? But then our minds serves as a filter. Our understanding serves as a filter. Our concepts, our vision serves as a filter to bring things into existence. But you don't just have every thought coming into existence. You don't just have any idea, any visualization come into existence. You got that which you think consistently. That which you think consistently becomes beliefs, and those beliefs becomes emotions and feelings that circulate. And they create atoms and molecules of like nature within the being, and eventually build and build and build and become intense enough to burst forth into physical creation. So things that you think and feel consistently cannot remain inside. They eventually have to take form. They take form. First, they take form inside as emotions, but then they take form as circumstances, experiences, as objects, and as people that you may attract. So that's a fundamental understanding that we have to say, that we have to make clear and be clear about when we're talking about being accountable and responsible for our experience on this planet as individuals and as a group. So, come in Proverbs 18:21, the power of the spoken word, or life and death is within the power of the tongue. This two-edged sword, two-edged, it cuts both ways. It cuts both ways, two-edged. You can use it for good, or you can to serve the betterment of you and others, or you can use it to destroy. You can use it to build, or you can use it to destroy. So this two-edged son builds, this two-edged tongue, this two-edged sword builds or destroys. Okay? So it has a purpose. Every tool has a purpose, and every tool can have multiple purposes. All right? But this tool called the two-edged sword is really intended to help us build the life that we want to build individually. Now, if that is true individually, then it is true collectively. Because individuals, we can't be separated from the whole. Because look at the word individual, indivisive, individable, dual. It's not, you say individuals are one person, but then you got duality within that word. And you got indivisible, undividable within that word. So you can't truly be divided or separated from the whole, although you are unique as an individual. So we are all unique as individuals because we opted in for this experience on this planet that we call Earth. We opted in to come into these bodies and experience this unique experience as individuals, but then to add on to the greater picture. So we're a puzzle, we're a piece of the greater puzzle. So since that is the case, what is our accountability and responsibility to us as a people? I say first it begins in the thought. Okay. But when you have thoughts, these are images, these are pictures. You close your eyes and you can still see. You see in your mind, you see the visual pictures. So it don't take physical eyes to really see. Okay. But then when you speak those thoughts, when we speak those ideas, we actually put clothing on those ideas. That we clothe these ideas with energy and power and strength. The word is like the clothing that we use to bring the idea from within and give it its expression outside of ourselves. And the words that each individual speaks is clothed uniquely. It's like, your garments that you wear. You put garments on before you go out of the home, and your garments is a way that you express yourself. You see? So, but your words then are garments of your thoughts that come outside. You send your thoughts outside to interact with other people's thoughts that they're sending outside. So you can say you are the parent sending your children outside to play together. When we speak, our words interact and build upon other people's words, and these words clothe ideas, and these ideas build and they manifest reality. So then if we don't have the full sovereignty that we need as a people, then we have to analyze what are the thoughts we are sending outside. What are the words that we're speaking about this reality? Are we just taking in the thoughts that come in from the outside, from the greater society, the ideas that they put in our heads, the ideas that they put in our minds of what reality is and what reality shall be? And then all we do is just talk about back and forth the reality that these groups and media systems, etc., expressing to us, putting in the contents of our consciousness these thoughts that we're constantly thinking, which become beliefs, which become emotions, which become manifestations. And it's just a constant exchange back and forth of this reinforcement of the reality that we complain about. Then we talk about it, but we turn around and complain about it. So then let's now understand we don't have to take our power in our own hands. We have to understand that the power has always been in our own hands, but we have not been using our power to our best benefit as a collective. How do you talk about other people? What is the content of your conversation about other people? Are you just focused on what other people do that you disagree with, that you don't approve of, the things that you don't like? How do we talk about one another? How do we speak about one another? Do we just talk about the ills that each other are doing in the community, the injustices, how one another is falling short? How often do we speak up and speak forth a new reality of that which we want to see around us? What type of people do you want around you? Are you speaking life into the life around you? Are you speaking death? Meaning, are you zapping the vitality by constantly criticizing? Or are you up the vitality by encouragement, by embracing, by enhancing, and allowing people to work out their magic, work out their situations, but then build up and encourage people to fulfill their purpose and destiny, whatever their soul dictates. And if we allow people to trust, and if we trust and allow people to live out their destiny based on what their soul dictates, and we put our focus in on doing the same, we'll find out that the way the energy will work is we will end up in more alignment with others, and or we will be surrounded by others eventually that will be doing the same thing. And then we would have to tie something around our pinky finger, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said back in the day, peace be upon him, to remember that certain negative entities, certain negative people, whether white, black, whatever race, certain negative people are even on the planet, because we so focused on building our own, minding our own business, minding our own business and businesses. Okay? So life and death are in the power of the tongue. They're in the power of the tongue. So then we have to play a little game here now. See, I created an acronym out of the word game. GAME. Great at moving energy. Great at managing emotions. Be great at mastering environments. Okay? So we do that with our words, but it begins within the mind, within the intention. So if I become great at moving energy and great at mastering environments and great at managing emotions, and I understand that's my responsibility to step my game up. If that is my responsibility, then that's what I'm accountable for. And I want to make sure that the game that I put out there builds vitality of the people, builds the confidence, builds the faith and trust. Okay? So I'm going to put forth the ideas that are clothed in the energy of love, understanding, acceptance, forgiveness, trust, encouragement, constant encouragement. Okay, so that's why I'm the people's coach. That's why I'm Coach Simbi, the people's coach. And we have to all become the people's coach. We got to coach one another. We got to coach one another along the lines of this higher level of vibrating thoughts and ideas. So we don't have to continue to speak on the lack of such and such and such and such. But now we speak into existence that which we want as if it exists now in the present. And then when we really look at the truth, the reality, it really does exist. We just been a little mentally thrown off with the deceptions. Because we are truly a sovereign people. But we've been convinced that we're not. So therefore, we haven't been experiencing it consciously. I mean, you might want to let that little marinate a little bit. Let it marinate a little bit right now. Like, how are we really sovereign if we're not experiencing it? That's a good question. That's a very good question. It all begins in the mind in which you proclaim your reality is. And once you speak your reality that you want to experience as if it is, then vibrationally, that which is physical around you starts to form and shape in that as you allow the intention to guide your actions, to guide your words, and also draw people and circumstances of like words and actions. You got to speak your reality into existence. All right. So we should stop saying that we are oppressed people. We should change that. No, we are not oppressed people. Let's define who we are. Okay. I mean, do you want to continue to feel oppressed and be oppressed, to be seeing people who look like you oppressed? Is that the reality that you want to cheerlead for? You want to be a cheerleader for oppression by constantly speaking, we are oppressed. We are oppressed. We are oppressed. Yay, oppressed. We are. That's what you might as well be doing if you're constantly talking about how bad we got it in America. Instead of speaking on the sacred opportunities that we have every day to shape and mold our reality, to express the beauty of life, the beauty of the creative beings that we are. We have power over all circumstances and situations. We do not have to be a victim to ill-conceived and corrupt politics and politicians, people who are manipulators of economic realities. Because we know that economics is the exchange of power. It's the flow of power, energy, currency. That's why they call it currency. All the different currencies around the world is how humans exchange energy and resources around the world. And energy is a resource. Labor, goods, services, creativity, economics. We don't have to be subject to other people's control of that. It's all an interdependent reality, but some people try to manipulate it. We don't have to be manipulated negatively. All right? If we understand the true economics of our souls, the true economics of our bodies, the true economics of our connection as family and community, we control our economics through the decisions that we make every day. One brother brought up the Tubman City Alliance, was something that we initiated as Soul Vibers back in the day here in Baltimore, Tubman City. And we basically put a resource guide out to get Black businesses working together. And part of the zero motor rate movement that we attempted back in the day, the Tubman City Alliance was part of that as well, where we become allies to one another by pooling our economic resources. This is nothing new under the sun, inside the sun, or whatever. Nothing new. The work and the creative opportunities are still the same. And we can see this work as a creative opportunity, because what higher level of creativity can we as a people exercise other than working together, managing our own resources, managing our own talents, our own energy, our own time, and collectively utilizing it to make sure that it benefits us as a whole. And we live by a code. You know, the Tubman City Alliance would live by a code. You know, the vision of the Tubman City Alliance is that we would live by a code of business practices as consumers and business owners, that we would support our Black businesses, but that yet the Black business owners will all live by a Tubman City Alliance business code of ethics and excellence, to supply excellent service. And if that service that's being supplied is not excellent, then the consumers will make a commitment to report to the alliance or report to the business at the very least, how they could improve their service. And then it's the duty of the business owner and the business itself to improve the service so that we as a people don't have no room to make the excuse to go on and thinking that the ice is colder somewhere else or that the grass is greener somewhere else, and therefore use any excuse to not support our own. We have to live by that code. Can we live by that code? Tubman City Alliance. It takes discipline, it takes commitment, it takes strategy, it takes resolve, but most importantly, it takes understanding that we have the awesome opportunity to create on a high level, to be creators on a high level. It takes cooperation. So you can't truly create unless you cooperate and coordinate. You can't really create as a collective. We cannot create unless we coordinate and cooperate. So that's 3 C's: collectively, coordinating, and cooperating, or collectively, cooperating, and coordinating. That's what we have to do. It takes consistency, it takes compassion, it takes trust, but it takes commitment to a higher level of experience. And besides all that, it'll make life a lot easier for us. So that's just one of the 9 areas of people activity. But all areas of people activity are connected to economics. So we can't escape that. We can't get away from that. So comment in the chat, do a thumbs up or place a 1 if you agree and are willing to participate in something like the Tubman City Alliance. And this is nothing that one group can do alone by themselves. This has to be a collective commitment to multiple groups and people who have the vision of sovereignty and understanding that that is the ultimate accountability and responsibility. You don't get no more spiritual, no higher level of spirituality than being sovereign while you're on this planet. I mean, when you float off somewhere and you done incarnating on this planet and you done passed the test, yeah, you can go beyond all of that. But while we on this planet, as humans, there's no higher level of functional spirituality. There's no higher demonstration of spirituality other than us cooperating and coordinating together in our economic reality in a way that is healthy and helpful for all. That is creating harmony on earth. A lot of healing will take place with this type of high level functionality. But there is no higher spirituality than us being able to behave in a way and function together in a way where we consistently help each other economically and we build upon the wealth that already is. We don't even have to create wealth. Wealth is, we get everything from the planet. It's already here. All we got to do is organize into systems of collective management, which other people already do, and we do that on certain levels, but do we do it economically for our sovereignty as a people so no one can come and control us because we are fixed in making proper decisions that serve us well? It don't have to be everybody. It don't have to be everybody. Eventually we'll get more and more people, but it can start with just a few. It can start with just a few. Brick by brick. That's why I'm in front of the brick wall. Brick by brick. So that's the message for today. I wasn't long, but I hope I was strong. I can't really see any comments. All right. So I pray that, this message found everyone in good spirits. I hope that this uplifted someone, energized someone. I hope that this message helped towards us building our vitality and us being resolved to exercise a higher level of accountability and responsibility for our mission and purpose on this planet while we're here. And look, don't think that it's all about, hard work. Oh, we got all this work to do, all this work to do. Change our attitude about work. Anything that we have to do, it can be fun. It's just about the attitude that we utilize, the attitude that we bring to the situation. We can see it as creative play, and we can laugh and have fun all the way while we're carving out our victory towards our challenges. Okay? So this don't be discouraged. Don't feel this is a heavy burden. Many hands create light work. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Peace, love, vitality, accountability, responsibility.
Yeah. It's just a figment of the imagination. It is. Driving you crazy. Relax, be still. The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. It will amaze you how the flurries on the periphery won't phase you. Ha! Uh-huh. Ha! Uh-huh. Yeah. Just a figment of the imagination. Driving you crazy. Relax, be still. The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. It will amaze you how the flurries on the periphery won't phase you. Phase you, phase you, phase you, phase you. Yeah. Relax, be still. The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. Let go. Relax, be still. The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. It will amaze you. Let go. Let go. Let go. Never stop popping, bubble fills, burst it. The knowledge never chills, always lurk. Come on. Pressure on the will, always working. That's right. Mind never stops, wills be turned. Come on. Relief is in the gap, cease the searching. Peace between the thoughts stops the hurt. Relief. I don't really exist, so who you murking? Ha! Small time boy. It's just a figment of the imagination. That's right. Driving you crazy. Relax, be still. What? The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. It will amaze you how the flurries on the periphery won't phase you. The world is moving swiftly. Slow it down and your mental goes slow. The only crown I wear is unified. It's so simple. Calling all creative players to the temple. Navigating self-ownership. No more rental. No more. The world controllers trying to lock it down. Leave them to it. They trap their own souls while they do. But we rolling between the gaps. Expansive minds chant down Babylon. That's right. It's a figment of the imagination, driving you crazy. Relax, be still. The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. It will amaze you how the flurries on the periphery won't phase you. Ha! Ha! Fellow man, woman, child, reconnect. Peace, love, family ties. We respect. All we need is each other. Let's recollect while the mama spit us out that wet. We're here for a season, come on, and it's the reason we believe it. The parents don't know who the daughter and son is. The children don't know who the one is. They don't. But we all gathered here because we know where the fun is. Yeah. It's just a figment of the imagination. It is. Driving you crazy. Relax, be still. The will is lazy. Energize it when you let go. It will amaze you how the flurries on the periphery won't phase you. Ha! Ha!